All right, moving on to other stories now. In the last 4 months, the Central Bank of Nigeria has funneled more than $6 billion into the foreign exchange market.
Now, this dollar intervention policy, which the Apex Bank introduced on February 20 this year to alleviate the suffering of Nigerians who desperately needed the dollar for foreign transactions, has impacted positively on the market and has narrowed the wide gap between official and black market forex rates. Earlier this month, the Naira dropped from 370 Naira to the dollar to 360 Naira to the dollar and has remained in that range after the CBN injected another $190 million into the market on the 5th of June.
Now, data analysis shows that since February 21, when the CBN commenced intervention in the forex market, CBN has intervened for 27 times and sold $6.14 billion. Now, this is aside its dollar sales to Bureau de Change and the special dollar sales to the real sector as manufacturers and the SMEs. Now, CBN spokesman and the Director of Banking Supervision of CBN, Isaac Okorafor, and Ahmed Abdullahi, thinks so. The CBN officials say forex activities by monetary authorities do not necessarily have a terminal date, and the Apex Bank has the arsenal in its war chest to stabilize the foreign exchange market.
Obadiah Melafia, a former deputy governor of the CBN, believes that the intervention should not continue. According to him, dealing with the lack of confidence in the economic policies of the country is the way forward. Now, the question now is, when will the intervention end? Is it going to go on forever? All right, we have joining us from Abuja studio the DG or Director General of the Abuja Chamber of Commerce, Chijioke Ekechukwu. Good morning and thanks for joining us on the show.
Good morning, Ngozi.
All right.
Pleasure.
Yes, great indeed. Now, some economists have asked the CBN to continue with its interventions, but the former deputy governor of the CBN is saying that's not the way to go. I wonder where you stand. And these interventions, are they really the only way that the CBN can intervene in the forex market?
First of all, we need to know where we're coming from. Don't forget that we're coming from a point where we did not just have enough foreign exchange for this country. And to that extent, the exchange rate became so high. And that was a time when oil price was at its lowest ebb. And that was the time we had a lot of insurgency in the Niger Delta area. And so our production capacity went very, very low. The oil price was as low as anything. And so to that extent, we didn't have enough foreign currency to be able to fund our local transactions and our importation processes. And so the market started picking up gradually. Oil price started rising up. The insurgency in Niger Delta ceased, and we are beginning to produce close to our installed capacity of oil. Now, having gotten this background, it became necessary actually for CBN to be able to intervene in this matter. And as an Apex Bank and regulatory bank, it was necessary for them to intervene, and we expect that this intervention should continue, at least until a time that we are going to have a reasonable exchange rate to be able to reduce inflation rate and all the things that are happening. So I do not want to think that CBN should stop the intervention. In fact, some months ago, some people asked, what is the real solution to this problem of exchange rate hike? And I told them, all CBN needs to do is to continue pumping money into the system, to the extent that everybody who would want every bank or every person that would want foreign currency will have it available. And so it is a game of demand and supply. And so now that the supply of the foreign currency is good enough, of course you see that the demand is no longer determining the price. You know, so the rate is gradually going down, and that is what the intervention is doing. So I want to differ from whoever suggested that intervention should stop. It has to continue until a reasonable time when we will think we have stabilized the rates, and then we can move on.
All right, Chijioke, let me ask, Chijioke, let me ask this. The point there is, there has been a consistent defense of the Naira, pumping monies and pumping Forex, as the case may be. But has that really translated? Because an average SME or an average Nigerian would like to see a change, the reduction of price and the convenience of doing business within the economy. Has that really changed for the average man who sells and who buys in the markets?
Again, I like comparing the previous to the current. Some 4 months ago or 5 months ago, we were exchanging, the Naira was exchanging for about 500 and something to $1. And gradually with interventions, we are getting exchange rates today at 300 and something to $1. So this is a good news for the small and medium entrepreneurs who want to import one thing or the other. It's a good news for our economy because, first of all, today we have a stable exchange rate regime. Before now, it was so difficult to even predict or plan on anything because the exchange rate was always fluctuating. Today, it is very high. Tomorrow, it drops. So people stayed off anything that involved foreign currency. But today, an average small and medium entrepreneur and import and even fix its price based on the stability.
All right, we seem to have distortions in there. Okay, well, we're talking about, because this issue is really the question the average person in the market is asking. When you talk about Forex, when you talk about the defense of the Naira by using dollar by CBN and all of that, the average man on the street doesn't understand all that.
Yeah, but I'm curious about what Chijioke said there, because some people would say, you know, listening to him, it might be contradictory when you say that it is a function of demand and supply, and then you have the CBN actually intervening in the market. And, you know, some other economic experts would say, look, you cannot really sustain this without diversifying the economy, that actually holds the key. Exactly. And then secondly, getting the private sector to actually drive it in such a way that the CBN will take that, you know, back seat.
And there is even the issue of excess liquidity. You keep pumping money in there, keep pumping money, and then we're talking about inflation.
Some are even asking, is the CBN really defending the Naira or the dollar?
Exactly. Yeah, you know, these are very hard questions. And then when we keep defending, and you know, all of this is tied to the price, the global price of oil. So if the price of oil comes down, then that war chest, CBN stands to say we can
eroded
do this.
somewhat. Yes, and that already is happening.
Exactly.
The global price of oil is taking a slight, you know, downturn. So now imagine that the CBN actually decides not to intervene anymore in the Forex market. What happens then? All
right, joining us now is a financial analyst, Ambrose Omordion. He is in the studio right now. So, Ambrose, good morning.
Good morning.
I know you've been listening to all the things we were saying. You are the economist, you are the financial person, as the case may be. But in the minds of Nigerians, it is the concept of demand and supply is a normal thing people get. But the concept of excess liquidity, where CBN keep pumping monies into, you know, pumping dollars into the market and so on. Will that not still keep the inflation rate that high?
No, I disagree with you.
Okay. Make us understand.
You are the expert. We don't know nothing about the economy.
Make us understand.
About this financial thing.
So just the pumping of the money into especially the import and export window of the CBN Forex market is to allow flow in and out of goods, which are those that are imported and those that are exporting. If that market is robust, that means foreigners can come in because they are sure that when they want to pick dollar, they can pick it. Not that they're going to pick dollar at 520 Naira. You remember before February when CBN sit down to structure their policy, you know, when they said 2016 July that, oh, we're going to do market determined exchange rate. And these do not work because we saw prices of dollar going as far as 520. CBN now look back, yes, I've made a policy, let's review our policy. Who they review their policy, they now come with intervention. Intervention is also to make the economy come out of where it is then. You can see that since they started intervention, we have made a little progress towards positive, not going back again. It tells you that that market, foreign market, was the major market that was holding us when we were saying we are the largest economy in Africa. Because then, there were free flow of funds. And we have robust market because if they want to import toothpaste, then you can call it a product toothpaste, for you to import it. Then there was a lot of activities. But when they pegged 41 goods that this, you can't have forest, and also because the forest was not available, it now shrinking our economy. It now compiled issue for us, we are in recession. But now see that the supply side of the market was what was affecting the economy. The demand side was already there. You need to now bring the supply so that the demand side will be there. Then CBN has okay, what we will do is for us to intervene.
That's a way of closing the gap.
Yeah,
and intervention is supposed to be a temporary measure.
I'm coming.
Shouldn't it?
No,
okay.
Because as far that they are trying to achieve a single exchange rate with time, they need to intervene so that this exchange rate will come as minimal to even, you know that the official rate of exchange rate is about 315. But still in the market, you get that started, 365, 364.
Something.
That means, as high it was almost 520. That means they are gradually closing the gap. When they achieve closing the gap, we can now come with one single exchange rate. That will now boost the reserve we are talking about.
But is that in itself not an artificial working of the economy without diversifying, truly diversifying the economy? Isn't the foundation shaky for this intervention? I mean, if the global price of oil goes down, what happens then?
If you look at the reserve between March and the last, about May 29, we've had between $30 billion in our reserve. Why before then we're having about 27 in 2016, 26, 27. That means our reserve has come up to a level because price of oil moved from as low as 28 to even 58. Coming back now it's oscillating between 43 and 45, which is still okay for us. But the good thing is that our production house has improved. That means the price will not determine much because if we are producing less, that's where we're having less income. But now we have moved almost 2.2 million barrels per day.
Still focusing on oil.
Yeah, if that is achieved, that means we can sustain what we are doing. But the good thing is that CBN alone cannot drive the economy. We need the fiscal policy, which is the budget, the government, to come in with their policies. Which, when they roll out the economic recovery growth plan, we saw some good plans there, but the government style implementation is what is keeping us where we are. If the way CBN have intervened from February today, we'll see the move it has impacted on the economy. That the delay budget that even have been passed, even to disburse money is another problem, would have also taken us to the next level. That will now open up the economy. Then, if you look at the intervention of CBN, go back to look at our what we call PMI. PMI, as for 2016, has been below 50, almost as low as 44. But since intervention, we have moved out from that to almost 50, which is even above 50. That means the economy is expanding. Now we're almost 52. That is that we are coming out of recession.
Okay. All right. Let me bring in Chijioke here. We have him back now. Chijioke, all of this intervention seem to be for companies or individuals or people who are doing businesses, importing and exporting. What of those back home doing domestic? Because government has been talking about patronized Made in Nigeria good, promoting the Made in Nigeria project and all of that. How is government taking advantage of those who don't have anything to do with importing and exporting?
Thank you very much, Mike. I do not agree that the intervention is just benefiting exporters and importers only. Our economy is hovering around the effect of foreign exchange rates, and because even the local manufacturers will have to need at one time or the other some kinds of raw materials, some kinds of machinery, some kinds of one thing or the other that will require the payment of exchange rates, the payment in dollar or any other currency. Don't also forget that we are importing some other products, like the petroleum products, which will depend on the currency rate. And so everybody is affected Actually, whether you're a local manufacturer, whether you're a small or medium entrepreneur, or whether you are a big manufacturer, we are all affected by the rate and the intervention done by CBN. So I want to believe that it is not only benefiting the exporters and the importers only.
Still remain with you, Chijoke Ekechukwu. Now, the multiple exchange rates is still a subject of debate. And then you have the CBN intervening and providing an SME Forex window, for the SMEs. And, of course, investors and exporters adding to the already, overfilled pool of Forex in the market. Does this not further complicate situations for the economy in general?
No, it does not. The investor and exporter export window is aimed at providing enough liquidity again. Before CBN intervened, you discovered that everybody was just saying CBN should do something, CBN should do something, CBN should do something. Today, CBN is coming up with a whole lot of products to be able to provide enough. All they are doing is just to lead to convergence of rates, in order to really bring all the multiple rates together. With the subsequent interventions we're going to have, we expect that there will no longer be need for different rates in the system. So it is actually bringing timely execution of payments in bills for collection and remittances of personal income to foreign countries. And for people who have facilities that are foreign denominated, you are repaying your facilities, credit facilities, you are repaying your interest rates. And so these windows are meant to help to be able to make these payments.
Okay.
Before now, it was difficult for the country to be able to meet maturing obligations. And so these obligations denominated in foreign currencies have been so difficult for the country to meet. But the window created now is just to enable such transactions to go seamlessly.
All right.
So I think it is the right step in the right direction.
All right, Chijoke. Ambrose, you were agreeing with everything he was saying. But let's see from this window. Okay. In all of this money that has been pumped to defend the Naira, how does the inflation rate, how does it impact, what are the implications of having the inflation rate at that point? Would it come down further or would it remain there or something?
No, the inflation will probably go to the southward. Why? Look at when you are importing goods at 520 Naira or 480, now you cannot have access to dollar at 360. The price you are selling then and what you sell now is not the same. On that alone, price of goods will drop. That also push the inflation down. And if it is sustained, and we'll have, as CBN is working towards, I know they are working towards that, we'll have a single exchange rate in Nigeria, and the fiscal policy open doors, and the productivity in Nigeria, and increase. This is now we will not have goods coming out, activities, and people earning good money, inflation will further go. And also, now we are working towards harvest period too. Expect that it's going to further push inflation. When people were complaining that the highest drop in inflation was 0.99, everybody was saying, no, we're going to see more, because if we start having a harvest 9 moments from now, as goods are coming out, prices of them will discover, and now see be able to sustain this what they are doing. We'll see inflation going back as even below 15. They've been before end of the year if they are serious. Okay, let me remind you. You know that on the 20th of June, that was last week. We expected in the capital market angle that Morgan Sterling index will include Nigeria in the index. In 2015, they removed us from the index, and the market was dragging feet. But when they started, our market was coming up, they do what we call weight addition. They added weight to many, about 16 Nigeria stock that in their index, and they let us, they made it public, and people were, that means this market is looking up. But when they want to reclassify, they said they want to watch Nigeria CBN intervention. It's good, they've seen the window working, but they want to leave the window between now and November to see if they sustain it. And CBN have come out in different ways to say, we are ready to sustain it till even the end of the year, even going forward. That is that if they sustain it, now we're seeing the capital markets looking up a bit, that will put the market up. Look at China that was reclassified and cleared into the index. since that day, China's stock market have been up. Because Nigeria and Argentina was okay, stand alone for now, let's watch UT. Was okay, stand alone for now, let's watch UT. November. Our market shake. People was afraid. But they said that before now you are not there, market was going up. Because they said, wait till November, you are now running again. you know, that attitude that was, well, no. To me, I said, if the factors that brought the market to where it is are still intact, why? You know, capital market is a leading indicator. At the same time, it is count machine. People are saying that, oh, companies' fundamentals are improving because CBN are made for available. All those manufacturing companies that are closing shop in 2016 are now back to business. And they're now chalking out positive results. Which tells you that if this is sustained, in second quarter number that's coming, we expect a better number 4 or so in first quarter. Therefore, investors should give them hope that, oh, we're in the right direction.
All right, let's keep hope alive. I mean, you've really been making us hopeful. Yeah.
Listening to him, it looks like everything is going to be turning around and Nigeria is wonderful.
Chijioke, now, we asked a question earlier when we were trying to make sense of all of this. The question of getting the private sector to actually be on the driver's seat so that the CBN can, take a back seat. How can we achieve that? Of course, I know that you're in support of the interventions by the CBN. But then again, how ideal is that? How can the private sector drive this?
First of all, even the import investor and exporter FS window is being funded through portfolio investors and exporters. These are part of private sector. And this funding is such that everybody can have access to this, and you can talk in between yourselves to decide at what rate you want this and at what rate you want that. And so this intervention is also taking place through the private sector. But taking it off what the CBN is doing, of course, you know that once we have a whole lot of local manufacturers exporting their products today that we are having currently, you see that a lot of assets will be had in the foreign currencies. So all the government needs to do also, apart from the CBN interventions, is to encourage the small and medium entrepreneurs to be able to do more and more. And once they continue doing more and more, they will have a lot to export, and we also have a lot into our coffers. Everything that will make us reduce our trade balance, so that we can have positive trade balance, will encourage this country to grow more in this intervention process. Because until we're no longer import dependent, we will continue to actually have these issues with foreign currency exchange rate.
All right, Chijioke, sorry, we don't have all the time, but let me ask you this question lastly before we let you go. Now, Nigerians are very concerned about this mono economy where everything depends on the oil and all of that. From the analysis both of you have given, it seems like things are turning around and things are looking good. But how do we take advantage of this so we don't solely depend on the oil?
First of all, our economy is dependent, like you said, on oil right now. But Nigerians can see all the efforts made by the current government to ensure that we diversify our economy. A lot is happening in the agricultural area, agro-based area. Many products are coming out, are being churned out today in the market for export for that purpose. I'm sure you know also that a lot is happening with the yam aspect of agri. Yam is being exported today to countries. And a lot is happening in the small and medium sector. And so it's a gradual process. Rome was not built in a day, and you know that since we have started in this process, it's expected that in the next 2 to 3 years, we are going to be having a self-sustaining economy that will be driven by private sector.
All right, we're looking forward to shouting hallelujah as soon as that happens. Okay, Chijioke, let me quickly come back to our guest right here in the studio, Omodion. The 41 items you referred to earlier, some have been saying that government should delist these 41 items from the restriction on Forex. Has it really done the economy more harm than good, putting these 41 items on Forex exclusion list?
I would start that if we start that 41 products or items, we are still moving as a nation. That means that those 41 can be sourced in. You can manufacture them within our economy. It's for CBN to make funds available for them not to be importing such things. Let them be manufacturing within the economy. That will employ. To me, it's a good direction, a good decision they have taken.
So how do you even convince Nigerians to import less to sustain, this appreciable success that we've achieved with the Naira?
Like I always tell you that because interest rate is relatively high, meaning Nigeria will be complaining. But I know that if inflation continues to drop, naturally the interest will go the same direction. If the interest comes down, people have access to funds at a cheaper. They can expand their business, they can go into business. But now people are saying, oh, what will I do if I want to go and borrow from banks with almost 25%? What will I do to make? Well, it just, as I said, rule was not been a day. We know where we are coming from.
But is it possible to achieve a single digit in the nearest future?
Yeah, it's possible. Like, let's maintain this tempo we are now, bring more ideas. Especially, I always say that CBN alone cannot do all this.
The fiscal aspect
have to come up. Because just for example now, if they don't pass the petroleum governing bill, if that is implemented, it will attract funds from abroad, currency will come, automatically our reserve will also be swelling up if we're having more inflow of investors, either direct investor or portfolio investor coming in. Automatically, they are coming to expand our economy. If they come directly, they want to establish factory here, companies that employ Nigerians, automatically things will be swelling up. We need a right policy, right environment to attract, even to also boost Nigerians that are into business, encourage them to come out and do more business. If this is in place, we are going places.
We are going places.
I like that.
Thank you so much.
Ambrose Omar-John, thank you very much for coming on the program. And we thank you, Chijioke Ekechukwu, Director General, Abuja Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for talking to us. Thank you, gentlemen.